To do or not to do a PhD? This is the burning question that is going on in your mind. So, one side, PhD is the highest degree in the world. On the other hand side, it comes with a lot of hurdles and a lot of unanticipated drawbacks. In this video, we'll try to understand why you should do a PhD. These are the top 10 reasons that I think one should consider before doing a PhD. So stay tuned till the end and watch this video. PhD is the highest degree, but in order to achieve the PhD degree, you have to work huge amount of time. Your work-life balance could be compromised, your mental health could be compromised. Also, significant amount of your time would be invested on studying something which would really change the entire field to a minuscule level. Question is, after all of these, should we do PhD or not? Well, at the end of the day, this is your personal choice because your life, your choice. But here are 10 points which can help you to think about whether to do or not to do a PhD. So let's begin. So first thing that PhD will teach you is how to plan and then execute the plan. Throughout the years of your PhD, you would be planning several experiments and then you would try to execute them and get success out of those experiments. So this is a crucial teaching that PhD would offer you, because at the end of the day, when you join a company, when you join, let's say, an academic job or any kind of job, you have to plan maybe courses, maybe team plans, maybe financial plans, but planning is important. The skill of planning would be taught during the PhD. I mean, there is nobody who is going to pinpoint how to make plans, but the entire journey would teach you how to plan better and in a more efficient way. Not only planning, but PhD taught me how exactly I can execute that plan in an efficient manner. Point number 2, time management. So in any of these jobs, managing time is really important. If you cannot time manage in a better way, then it's difficult. Your work-life balance would be skewed and many other goals would not be achieved. So in PhD, you are in an ocean of challenges. So you have to navigate through these challenges and you have to maintain time at the same point, right? So that is why time management is a key aspect that PhD had taught me. Still, I face difficulties in managing time, but there are many ways by which I can manage time in a better fashion these days. Third point, PhD would help you to deal with deadlines. In a company, in an academic teaching environment, or in any kind of job, dealing with the deadline is the biggest challenge. And you have to deal with the deadline, and this is reality. I think somewhat PhD teach you how you can efficiently deal with a deadline and you can finish a lot of work in a planned way within a deadline. Yes, in the first and the initial years, you would fail multiple times to reach the deadline, you would exceed the deadline, but eventually you learn how you can finish your work within an estimated amount of time. I think that's a crucial skill one should have before applying for any kind of job. So PhD would make you a thinker, a person who can think, analyze and execute plans. It's not only believing or carrying out orders that happens in many other jobs. Being a PhD student, you learn how to think critically, how you can criticize somebody constructively. And these are critical soft skills which is important to navigate through your career. And I think PhD would help you to become a thinker, and it would allow you to criticize somebody and it would help you to put your views forward in a constructive discussion. So this is one of the thing that I learned while I was doing PhD. Okay, if you're doing PhD and especially from India, you would learn how to handle people, because especially in Indian PhD, you have to deal with academic people, your peers, your professor, the purchase people, sometimes the workers, sometimes workshop people, sometimes many other vendors and plethora of people. So this is annoying at the first sight, but think in retrospect. You learn how to deal with people, how to get your job done by modulating them, by sort of interacting with them in different ways. You make a deal with the vendors very often, right? So this is how you learn how to negotiate in your life as well. That would be a crucial skill that which will be useful in your. So talking about handling people, you need a lot of communication skills and soft skills. So one of the things that I learned during the PhD is how to communicate with the audience. So obviously this particular channel is a resultant of that. So if we cannot communicate our views with the audience, then many of our attempts are futile. As a scientist, not only we should do science in the lab, we should also communicate our science to the society. And in this process, we learn how to, in general, communicate our views, how to put our point of views in a constructive fashion towards the society. And I think this is a very crucial skill which is hard to get in any other profession. One of the critical skills that PhD offers you is the leadership quality. At least at the end of your PhD journey, you must be working with several juniors, undergrads, or even project students. In this context, you can practice your leadership skill. You can inspire them. You can help them to navigate throughout a project. You can be the instructor. And this sort of leadership skill is really important, even if you want to do a job in a company, or let's say you want to be a manager. So this sort of management and another leadership skill is really important that PhD offers you. Talking about leadership skill, it all starts with conferences, because in the conferences you interact with the leaders. So there are many conferences which a person can attend during their PhD tenure. Some of these conferences are eye-opening, life-changing. At least it was for me. One of the conferences that I attended was Global Young Investigators Summit in Singapore, where I had a chance to interact with the Nobel laureates, right? Whose work you read in the books. Once you sort of talk to them in person, isn't it amazing? So this is one of a lifetime opportunity, at least for me. So one of the things that I literally ignored was the added bonus while you apply for a job. If you have a PhD in your CV, automatically your CV is uplifted, right? If you want to apply for a teaching job, a PhD degree would obviously help you. If you want to go for academia, or if you want to go for, let's say, industry, having a PhD is always good. It is obviously making your CV more and more enriched. And the last thing, PhD doesn't provide you a lot of funding, lot of money to live with, but also it teaches you how you can live a quality life with whatever you have. So obviously it helps you to live a very simple life, while it also teaches you how to manage your own funds, how to manage your own expenses. I think these are the 10 lessons that I learned during my PhD. And that is why I think once in a lifetime, people should decide to do a PhD. It is sometimes really, really hectic. It is sometimes taxing. It is depressing. It is difficult. But still, I think PhD is worth it. What do you think? Give your opinion in the comments.